Hey everyone, I'm Julie Long, and I'm sitting with Joanne Trudeau today. Welcome, Joanne.
Thank you.
So Joanne is a vocational rehabilitation specialist. It's a mouthful. I'm glad I didn't trip over my words, which I normally did. So this video is about really what it is that she does, so that if you're looking for support with your job, then perhaps maybe she might be just what you need. So why don't we talk about what it is that you do, so that for people who are listening, they could see if maybe it's just what they need.
Sure. So what I do is I find people careers. That's as simple as I can put that. The other aspect of that would be most often it is finding someone a career that is living with a disability. They may have an impairment, or they're now managing and recovering from an illness, an injury, or a disability, and they just need that bit of assistance to return to the workplace or find an entirely new workplace.
Okay.
It all depends on what their needs are.
Okay. So then if someone has, perhaps maybe had an injury on the job or outside of the job, and now they can't work, or they can't work what they were doing before, they come to see you.
They can come and see me.
And what would that look like?
Well, we'd start with an interview, really wanting to understand where the customer is coming from. What is it? What are their needs? What are they wanting to change? This is really about change. From there, we would look at their skills and abilities and aptitudes. We would do some assessments around your personality. The field is rich in using theorists, and it's been tried and tested, and it's true. Certain personalities fit better in certain work. So we would do all of those assessments just to understand who you are, and hopefully you are even surprised at some of that potential.
Yes.
Because at times we might not recognize our own potential.
Absolutely.
So this is that opportunity now to look and see what your potential is. We do career exploration. What would you like to do now that you have a better understanding of your personality and your abilities and your skills? And then we transfer those over to other types of work that you would like to do.
And I guess since you're in this field, you're, trained in how to figure out, based on how they're able to move, feel, think, act through the world with their job. You can figure out who they are and then what's available to match that, right?
Correct.
Whereas a lot of people, if you don't live and breathe in that type of work, it's going to be hard for them to figure this out on their own, because it's like if you're not a plumber, I'm not a plumber, so I cannot fix a leaky faucet, or a leaky toilet. I just can't. So I'm going to call a plumber.
Right.
And I guess I'm not going to say that you're a plumber, but in regards to occupation, you're trained. And so when they have something that's leaking and not working, they come to you with their job, in regards to their job.
Sure, absolutely. That's great, because it could even be something like wanting to make another career move in your workplace and not know how. It could be after our 17 and ongoing months of working, managing, living with COVID, you may want to do something completely different. And you may be even like a high school student, not really sure what you would like to do, and I can help you with that. And at the other end of the spectrum, you might be looking at retirement. Scary in and of itself, but what would you do? Right? If you don't have enough hobbies, or you want to still contribute to your community, there's volunteering. or you may want to have a bit of gig work, right? Where you can still use your core skills and apply that to something self-employed.
Well, like at Safe Harbor, it's, life is about finding balance and wellness, right? And there's 7 dimensions of wellness that add to our overall well-being, and occupation is one of them. And whether we're volunteering or working in a job, our first career, many people have lots of careers these days, right? And then what that looks like post-career, because having meaning in our lives about doing something and feeling like we are adding value or meaning to our life or other people is really important for how we feel about ourselves. And if we're having difficulty finding that meaning, it's important that we have someone to reach out to help us figure that out, right?
Exactly. Employment is important. It not only pays the bills, got that, but it's important for your mental health. It's known now, it's not unknown. It is known that employment, full-time, part-time, a few hours, having purpose, applying your values, it's very good for your mental health. It's medication free.
Right, yes, yeah, well said. Okay, so we've looked at potential clients, right, who might need these services. And you've talked about honing in on, okay, who are you? What do you like? What are you good at? What are you able to do now? What career that fits? Once you figure that out, do you help them get to the finish line, so to speak?
Absolutely.
And what does that look like?
I offer job search services where once you have selected the type of employment you would like to achieve, where we'll spruce up your resume, your cover letter, make you shine, develop your brand.
Yeah.
And then if you haven't interviewed in a long time, I'll help you with that. That's very important today.
It's hard to sell yourself, or present yourself in a concise, thorough way.
You could drop your resume off in the past.
Right.
Now it's called uploading your resume. So you don't even get that 5-second elevator speech with someone in an office.
Right, yes.
So building your brand is important, and then helping you develop your interviewing skills, and then the etiquette around job searching, right? Fielding calls, following up, that thank you note. It helps because, they're going to store your resume for 6 months, and look at that. How thoughtful. You sent a thank you note.
When you leave a feeling with them.
Exactly. So that's your 5-second elevator speech.
Yes.
Right? So things have changed a great deal. The labor force has changed. Labor trends completely changing today because of COVID. So it's important to connect yourself with someone like me, and together we figure out what those labor options would be for you.
And so if someone is maybe reaching out for support because they're feeling stuck and they're going to call you or email you, would it look the same way versus if someone is going through insurance because they're on a disability claim or they're on short-term disability of some kind, you know what I mean?
Right. The process is pretty much the same. It's always about, the interview, assessing you, understanding who you are, exploring those careers. If you have difficulty picking that career, I can help you that through counseling. Using various techniques. The other thing too would be, sometimes you just need to step away and do your own processing, which is fine. There's no pressure, there's no timing here, but you do need to make a decision.
Yes.
And through rehabilitation counseling, I'm able to help you make those decisions. determine your direction, and but it would be the same. It would be the same. And because I do come from an insurance background, I do understand the parameters, the demands of what an insurance policy looks like. So I would be able to navigate you through that system.
Right.
And that I know is very challenging. There's a lot of emotions when it comes to that. So I would be able to assist you and navigate you through that.
Well, I know, like, navigating any system.
Exactly.
When you're the one that when you're the one that's in the system, it's so much easier when there's someone who's not involved, that knows the route, that can navigate it with you.
Right.
So that you're not doing everything when it's really hard. When you are emotional, it's hard to think and decide clearly and advocate for yourself, right? It's easier when you have support.
It is, absolutely. With the counseling provided, it's really about getting you to quieten your thought pattern, because if you're having to choose a certain career option and invest in it through education, it's good to make those decisions with a clearer thoughts.
Yes.
Than having racing thoughts.
Yes. And when we're emotional, we feel grounded when we're with someone who makes us feel calm and safe.
Yes.
And confident that, okay, this person can help me. I feel comfortable letting go and letting this person help me. And so if people are listening, what is it about Joanne that maybe it might be helpful for them to know about why you want to help them, like what's brought you here and impassioned you to help people find their way.
Yeah. I did a full change in January. COVID made me think about, my employment, what I want as a career. We're all living longer.
Yeah.
What do I want to do when I grow up? So it was a matter of not wanting to let go of what I know.
And been
The
working for decades with,
all of that, my experience, but now applying that to customers who will benefit from it, and then being able to rejoice with them in their success.
Yes.
Yes.
Working, in a managing leadership role, helping people, like there's a little bit of distance, right? And so when you're able to work one-on-one with people, it sparks and reignites. Yes, this is why I've worked so hard and done all this training, and this is working on the ground level is where we...
Correct. It was important to make the change, and truly it was time to get back to being one-on-one with customers.
Yeah.
You just see the progression, you see the success. It was, and I'm very happy. It was the right thing to do. There's been no regrets.
And I have to tell you, like, over the years, helping people move through their distress that's impacting their work, whether it's stemmed outside of work or within the workplace, and they feel better, but now it's like, okay, I'm ready, but I need to change. Right? Mm-hmm. My specialty isn't in that category. Yours is. Mm-hmm. And so I'm so relieved that at Safe Harbor we have someone that's an expert within the occupational dimension of wellness. Yay! And who's such a gem in a person, because, I could have used these services throughout my life, and it would have made the transition so much easier and less stressful on me if I had someone who knew the route and could help navigate it with me. So, and then you need to be able to be comfortable with the person. And so someone who has a nice personality makes it easier to navigate that new path.
Yeah, agreed. They're life-altering decisions. Mm-hmm. And it's important to inform. It's important that, you've got the right thought patterns mentally to make those decisions.
And so thank you for being here, and thank you for sitting down with me, so that whoever's watching this, if you've noticed that, hey, I could benefit from this, or a loved one, or someone that you know that employs other people that could benefit from consultation with how to help people in the workplace, then please reach out to Joanne. The button to email her is just below this video, and perhaps maybe you'll soon meet with people and rejoice in empowering them and helping them find their success.
That would be lovely. That would be very nice.
So thank you.
Thank you. A pleasure.